All right. Well, since Nola, you have the most content here, do you want to start with one or two, the first two of yours, and then we'll go into I've got some stuff, and then go back to you?
So just in gleaning, and what's been going on around the state with regard to conscious capitalism, or basically, people are good. Were totally unrelated that actually are related. One, they're both having to do with creating housing for the needy. One is by this 74-year-old developer. He's basically taking old motels and developing them into housing for the homeless. And he's getting a lot of the tenants from local nonprofit organizations that are jobs and low rent, something that is affordable with a basic job. And he'll also actually even make sure they're working. So if he doesn't see them going to work, by this 74-year-old go and go to places that have a help wanted sign and knock on the door and help them get jobs. But it is such a he's done this for a few hotels now, and this is in Gainesville, motels that he sees the potential for it to go much grander. So he's now got a kind of a prospectus together, and he's getting investors to be able to go to purchase like 350 more units to do this wide scale. He's doing this without any federal funds, no state, federal, local, incentives, and those do exist for developers. But he's finding that he gets actually a greater profit from doing it this way than some of your regular, traditional hotel investments, and he feels like he's able to help the community at the same time. And let me see if I can find his information. Here it is. His name's Harvey Vengroff, and yes, he's now putting together. He's part of a team. He's kind of spearheading a team, putting together a $100 million capital to raise effort to expand the model. So, and the intent is, and he said, actually, the intent is to take this throughout Manatee and Sarasota counties. So that's interesting. Somebody's just using this for-profit model to help people in need, and housing is definitely a big issue. The other person doing a similar work it's actually through the Florida State University's DeVoe Elmore Center. There's a graduate there who did a senior seminar on social entrepreneurship, and she's been hired through a grant to develop what's a business model for what they're calling Walks of Life Hotel. She's from Sebring, where there's a lot of agriculture going on, and she's seen, her name is Karen Tuck. Last name's Tuck. Kaylee Tuck. She grew up in Sebring, where there's a lot of migrant workers working in agriculture, and people who hire migrant workers are required to supply housing, but she's seen that the housing is really, really dismal. And so this business model, again, purchases old motels and rehabs them and makes them living, actually raises the standard of living for migrant workers. And she's there now. She wanted to help kind of spell out or flesh out this business model. And they're going to be working on the business plan this year, and they hope to launch it, so you can be looking for it over the last half of 2016. First in Sebring, where will do a pilot program, and then hopefully be able to, I don't know if they're franchising it or just building a replicable model, but the idea is to be able to expand nationwide. So, I mean, those are two housing, housing things that are, it's actually a for-profit model, and it's helping people in need. So those are two of mine so far.
I like that. I'm curious to learn more about it. Is that the interview that you, or the article that you sent me?
The first one is.
Okay.
Bancroft, yes.
Because I'm curious how that works, and also if by not including any public funds or subsidies or tax breaks, if the approval process, because it's all privately done, then is actually quicker, which might be part of the better return on investment, is you're not tied to this kind of dead weight of an approval process or auditing process. If you just dot your own I's and cross your own T's, you can do it more efficiently.
Right. And I have seen areas where developers will, it seems that they'll take advantage of those tax rates just to get, those programs just to get the tax rates, and they don't, I've seen where I don't know that they're necessarily invested in the good they're doing, and it seems like in some places they're more interested in getting the cuts. It's refreshing to see somebody who isn't concerned about the cuts, knows they're going to get a profit, but has chosen this because it also, will help the needy. So.
Yeah, well, I'd definitely like to learn more about it, and if you do get the opportunity to profile them, I think that'd be great, great to share.
Yeah, I'd like to do that. Let's plan on it.
Hello, Paul.
Hey, I'm here.
You're here. Welcome, welcome. I think
Thank you.
I've introduced you to Nola, also on as Allison Foxall. She's our web and marketing extraordinaire and conscious capitalist here in Tampa with me.
Nice to meet you, Paul.
Thank you. Nice to meet you too, Alison, and nice to see you again, Nola.
Nice to see you again, Paul.
So were you two able to connect in person down in Delray?
We were.
Great.
In fact, he's on my list of interesting ventures that are coming up in the state. So.
Excellent, excellent.
Soon.
I guess shifting from the small kind of investor that you were discussing there in housing, an article I found this week was talking about Raymond James Financial, which is a Fortune 500 employer or company here, financial services company here in Tampa Bay, and they're quite large. They're homegrown, but one of the things I've always noticed about the way they operate and the way Tom James, he's their executive chairman, I think, right now. Before I get misquoted here, but basically, there was a move on their board to approve a bylaw change that would keep certain board members off the board of directors if they had a compensation package from outside third-party firms or investment companies that may or may not have the same vested interest as Raymond James Financial. And I'll quote Mr. James in here. It's but if you have some green male expert or something of that nature and they want to make things happen, they sometimes get people on board that don't necessarily vote in the long-term interest of the shareholders, said Tom James, Raymond James Executive Chairman. And I've listened to Tom speak, and he definitely understands the concepts of conscious capitalism, this idea that even if you're looking at the long-term interests of shareholders, it's long-term, it's not short-term. And if you want to really protect the financial investment of your customers, who are also shareholders by being customers, or rather, your shareholders are another version of customer in his case. He wants to make sure that long-term their investments are protected and their retirement funds and their financial future is more stable. So it's just an interesting news piece to see as this locally grown financial services company is becoming more and more prominent in Wall Street. The challenges that they're running up against with their own board and shareholders to keep that kind of conscious mentality and long-term vision in their own bylaws and organizational structure. The critics of the move said that basically if there's a shareholder with an agreement outside of what's in the best interest of Raymond James, that they shouldn't be approved to be on the board of directors in the first place. And that in the disclosure in the beginning of that vetting process for new board members, that would be the place to take care of that, that once they're a board member, they would not be restricted or removed because of that. So anyway,
It's all interesting. There's been some high-profile cases of people kind of usurping boards and doing what they felt would make them the most money. So it's interesting to see that it's now changing policies of individual firms.
Yeah. I guess, Nola, you had an update on Orlando?
Yes. There were several. Orlando actually has been called a hotbed for social enterprise, and I wish I could tell you which publication I saw this in. All I took was, ooh, there's that, and there's that, and there's that. So I'm just going to rattle off a bunch of social enterprises and businesses that are in business for doing good that are in the Orlando area. Some have been here a while, some are new. One is a coffee shop that's called Downtown Credo. And you go in there, it seems like a normal coffee shop. It's like most other coffee shops, but what they do is about once a year, they go down, the owner goes down to Guatemala, and they build relationships with the local growers there, and they pay the local growers. They basically have a direct relationship with the growers, and they pay them about 30% more, better than the fair trade wage amount. So, as far as they're concerned, they're helping farmers in Guatemala. There is another company called Rebuild Globally, where artisans in Haiti, now they're based in Orlando, but what they do is they have artisans in Haiti that are paid a living wage to craft shoes out of tires. Then there's Complete the Pair, which gives footwear to people in need. Now how that compares to Tom's, I'm not sure. It might be the same, it might be different. It's worth looking into. Then there's something called MADI, M-A-D-I, which is short for Make a Difference Intimate Apparel, and it helps victims of domestic abuse. Then there's Clean the World. I know that the founder, Tom, we've tried to get Tom to come on here. I know he's very, very busy, but I believe Clean the World. Correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't that Florida's first B Corp, certified B Corp?
One of.
Yes. Okay. So anyway, what Clean the World does is they collect all of those unused soaps and toiletries from hotels and repackage them into hygiene kits to be used in developing countries where hygiene supplies are in limited quantities. So those are, and there's one more actually, and this isn't a business, but this is a social enterprise related thing, is that in Orlando, Rollins College recently opened a department of responsible business management and social entrepreneurship, and there's already about 400 students enrolled. So that's they're going to be training our next wave of entrepreneurs and managers.
Excellent. Paul, I guess for Orlando, I think we definitely need to get somebody from Orlando on our video, our webcast next month, and talk about the market there, and hopefully we can work on getting that together. Paul, I don't know if you could. Nola said that you started the Future Shapers, and if you could give a little update on what's going on in your world in conscious capitalism.
Yeah, thank you. The Future Shapers work is emerging, I would have to say. So I was at the retreat in San Francisco 2 weeks ago, and that was a repeat for me, although it's the same retreat. And what we're doing now is just starting to build the first 3 executive roundtables, and that's the concept of Future Shapers, to really put into place executive roundtables to focus on conscious leadership. So that's the core. And what we'll be doing over the coming months is to see if we can get those groups set up in West Palm Beach, in Fort Lauderdale, and in Miami. That's my hope, is to get at least one in each of those locations. Now we're just working on a press release. That press release is in draft form and virtually ready to go. We're just waiting to update the website the Future Shapers website, which is simply futureshapers.com, to have a Florida page. Once that's up, the press release will be released, and that will include reference to conscious capitalism, the chapter, the Florida chapter. So we're just getting off the ground, and you know, anybody who's interested in forming or joining a conscious leadership group, then you know, please let me know, because we're just starting, and I'm still learning the area, and it's a really good opportunity to get in on the ground floor.
Sounds great. Well, I'll include the link to Future Shapers in the comments or the description of this video when we do republish it.
Very good, thank you. And my email at Future Shapers is simply paulward@futureshapers.com. So easy to reach.
Excellent. And then, Paul, you are going to Conscious Capitalism Chicago, which I believe that's the first week of April, correct?
That's right. It's April 7 to 9, and yeah, all registered, but flights booked. Interestingly found, well, one of the people at the Future Shapers retreat is the chair of the Orange County chapter, and he's going, and also a very old friend of mine from the Richard Barrett days, so I've known him probably 15 years, is up in Rochester, New York. He's founded that chapter, and he's going to be there as well with his son. So already some good connections, and so yeah, really looking forward to Conscious Capitalism 2015.
Excellent. I wish I could be there this year. Unfortunately, not going to make it. I know it'll be a great time, though. That's for sure.
Yeah, looking forward to it, and I'll bring back as much information as I can.
Excellent. I guess that's. I don't have anything else for this, but Nola?
I have a couple more things.
Okay, yeah. Good.
Okay, so what I've got to share are actually resources for entrepreneurs out there. One has to do with people, again, in Gainesville. There is a new startup incubator specifically for social entrepreneurs. It's called HiveSpace. They're actually planning to launch the program by mid-March, but in the meantime, they are taking applications for startups. So it's a new venture. It's basically a collaboration between a startup, a rabbi, and a University of Florida professor. And this one is specific, and it's been stated that even though Gainesville really already has a lot of incubators, business incubators, there is no incubator, except till now, that's specifically for people who want to launch ventures that are focused on not just profit, but people and the planet too. So I'm trying to see who said that, but it was one of the people who is on the team launching what's called HiveSpace. So if you're in Gainesville, look for HiveSpace. And the other one is just an announcement, PSA almost, in that the Small Business Administration, their Office of Women's Business Ownership, is having what's called an Innovate Her Business, HER, business plan competition. So what they're looking to find the most innovative products and services that help impact and empower women's lives. So the most innovative products and services that help impact and empower women's lives. And the competitions will begin locally, and so you want to contact your local small business administration, and then the first national round of competitions will be held during National Small Business Week, May 4th through 8th in Washington, D.C. And the national finalists, they'll have, the finalists will have an opportunity to present a live pitch in front of a panel of experts and potentially win. They're competing for a $30,000 cash prize. So that's what I've got.
That's excellent. I like Social Enterprise Hive or Incubators. That's good.
Yeah.
Is that now who's actually funding that? It's a county program or a city program? Or
It is. It is a no. It is founded by uh, Rabbi Adam Grossman, an organization called Starter Space, which I believe is an existing incubator, and Professor Kristen Juice of University of Florida's Center for Entrepreneurship and Innovation's Social Entrepreneurship and Sustainability Initiative. Say that fast 10 times.
Okay, that's all right. All right, I missed that. Sorry.
That's all right. That's why I didn't say it in the first one. I don't think I can get that all out in one breath. So.
Well, excellent. I don't know what else. Do we have anything else this month?
Well, I'm wondering if you would like to plan or talk about, well, either an online or an offline meeting, possibly after the Gasparilla Festival is over and some of, there's a little more time available.
Mm-hmm.
And that is to really plan out the awards, the Conscious Capitalism, award concept. The reason I say that is because to publicize it, I'm looking at the Florida Trend magazine, which I know profiled you at one point, and their August issue has to do with best companies to work for in America. I think that an article about conscious capitalism and in our search for a company that emulates conscious capitalism, Florida would be an ideal, article for that issue. And I have not contacted them, but just from experience, I believe they plan up to 6 months in advance. It might even be too late. So if we just get on the same page, then maybe we can pull together and start planning publicity.
I think that would be great. As far as for that specifically, maybe we could just do a phone call either sometime this week or next, so that you can move forward with contacting them and making sure we know their editorial schedule. I have talked to their publisher and editor back in 2013 when we first launched, so they're aware of the organization and that we were working on the benefit corporation legislation. So I can maybe even use that to help out or whatever, but so we don't miss those deadlines if there are any.
Right.
And then maybe the four of us and any interested parties, we could schedule a conference call for that Monday, the week of the 9th.
Okay.
That way, I will be done with that festival, and my focus would be quite a bit more significantly back on conscious capitalism.
Great.
That week.
That'd
So
be
we can do that by email, and Nola, you and I by email will handle Florida Trend.
Okay, sounds good.
Great. Well, thank you everybody for joining. Allison, I don't know if you have any commentary or.
No, I'm sorry. I've just been so busy. This meeting just snuck up on me, and I saw it on my calendar like yesterday. I was like, oh my gosh. So I'm sorry about that.
Glad you could make it. Like I said, we just, the whole thing with 2015 is being consistent, and this is our second month. Month number 3 will be a little bit better, and we'll just keep going from there. So thanks everybody for participating, and I'll follow up by email.
Sounds good.
All right. Thank you.
Good to see everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Good to see you.